Is the West falling? I think so. I've got some clips and some information to share with you about what I think is going down in the UK specifically today. Stay tuned. A few events have happened recently here in the UK that have drawn me to make a video to stitch them together to give you an idea of an overall picture, let's say. So stay tuned. We're going to get into it in this video. And we'll start with the emboldenment of people coming to this country with our generosity, our tolerance, our acceptance, and taking the proverbial piss out of it. So what we had on Saturday was a planned protest through Whitehall by UKIP for deportations. The Met Police and Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, Sinister Khan we should call him, or Mayor Can't, because he can't do nothing for Londoners. Anyway, they put the kibosh on that protest and told them they have to go over another part of London because of community cohesion and whatnot. So UKIP played ball because UKIP understand respect for the law is sanctisanct here in the UK. However, the community of Tower Hamlets didn't get the memo. Have a look at them all coming out to protest against English, British patriots. This was Saturday in Tower Hamlets. Roll a clip. Whose streets are streets, they call. Unbelievable. Well, you know, there is an issue. There is something to talk about here in regards to how they protest. So if you take a Unite the Kingdom march or if you take a UKIP march, you'll notice that everybody goes down there. They show their faces. They're there to protest about a point. But what we've got here within this specific community, everyone is masked up. Why? Take a listen to this. Roll a clip.
What's going on, mate? Comedian, Libby. Come on. Lag out. No face, no case. What's going on, my people? In all our shops, alhamdulillah. This Saturday, inshallah, if you guys need it, £5 each.
It's making famous. What a prat. So there you go. No face, no case. So what they're doing is they're out for trouble. Now, I personally think that a lot of the people in this crowd are possibly from some of the hotels with the migrants in it, because why would you need to cover your face? What's your intention? There were people seen with knives, with bats, with weapons. How is that even allowed? Why are we allowing this? There was one instance where all of these, let's just call them jihad, were walking down the street. It must have been hundreds and hundreds of them, black, hoods up, black masks, totally uniformed, looks like a foreign army, walks like a foreign army. Guess what? It's probably a foreign army. Anyway, one of the lefties who were there with Hate Not Hope or Stand Up to Racism or whatever bandwagon is out there on that weekend is shouting into this procession as they're walking, "Hey, don't be like that, mate. We're on the same side." And then this guy in the crowd's like, "No, we're not." And he's like, yeah, we are, bruv. And he's like, "No, we're not." When will these guys understand, especially the Queers for Palestine, you are first off the top of the building if these guys achieve power? Unbelievable. But this guy here, this guy gets the medal of the week for me because he's an absolute tool. Check this out and check out what he's talking about, what he's showing. They're not here to protest. They're here for a ruck.
Everyone is here, my people. Alhamdulillah. Have a look. 360 degrees. All you can see is the mandem, the brothers. We're located and we are here.
Exactly. All your brothers in your mandem, you fucking tools. Sorry, that's just my personal opinion, mate. I think you're a prat. What a knob. Who let him in? Anyway, so where I was going with this is showing you this behaviour is because what it's doing is it's emboldening other people to do things in the un-British way, i.e. commit crime, i.e. commit estual offences against minors, against women, against anyone. It literally is the rape of Britain, and the elite class can't see it. They're sticking up for it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I'll just prove a point on this. So we'll start with this guy from Somalia. You can see him here on the screen. He actually phoned up his immigration hotline, I believe, to tell them that he was going to commit mass murder. No one did anything. And he went into a bank in Yorkshire and so tragically stabbed a man to death. The bank manager, I believe, who was a young family man. So that's a guy from Somalia. Then, of course, we had the horrific incident of the Ethiopian from the Bell Hotel, who got released on Friday by accident. The most notorious sex offender in the UK at the moment. I should be recognisable to pretty much everyone, definitely people in authority like the prison service, released. Now, he was saying, according to a delivery driver who was arriving as he was being released, he was saying to the guards, where do I go? I'm being deported. Who do I report to? And they're like, no, you're free, mate. Go on. Like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of geniuses are we employing in the prison service? Now, I'm not tarring the brush because the majority of the police officers have a tough job. They got a real tough job. I mean, it's a vocation. You've got to love to do that job to do it because it doesn't pay that well. There's always staff shortages. There's always overcrowding. There's always a threat of violence or even death because these are the worst of the worst in there. Now, he's like literally challenging them, saying, what are you letting me out for? You know? But they did, and they pushed him away, and he was out for 48 hours and got caught up in Finsbury Park a couple of days later. So that was an embarrassing situation. And what makes it worse, right, this is calamitous, that we paid the guy 500 quid to leave. Someone make that make sense to me. The guy come here illegally on a boat, within 8 days had committed sexual offence against their child and a lady, was imprisoned for it, rightfully, for a year, was then let out, was then recaptured, and then we give him 500 nicker to go home. And the reason they give him £500 apparently was so he couldn't raise a legal challenge at a later stage. Well, that is utter bollocks. And I'll tell you why, because in my commercial experience of working on in architecture and design, I've worked on projects for the government or for overseas clients where I've had to sign an NDA. So that at no point I could talk about that, at no point I could release pictures or do anything other than just support that bit of work. Now, you could give that NDA to this guy and sign it, and there you go, on you go. That will pacify a lawyer. Why do we have to give him money? I'll tell you what it says to everyone in the third world. Come over here illegally. Your chances of being deported are 3% because of the stupid one in, one out policy. You can have your fill on anyone you like, fair game, boys, girls, women, men, whatever. Do what you like, and then we'll pay you to go home. So come over here, commit heinous crime, and we'll give you dough to pop off back to your mainland. It's almost like we're paying to be I can't believe it. We're paying to be assaulted. Someone in the Home Office, please make that make sense to me. I need a drink. Don't get excited, it's a cup of tea. Right, and then finally, so horrific. So we've had the protest on Saturday. We've had the Ethiopian been paid to go home after abusing our citizens. And now this takes the biscuit for me. There was sadly, a gentleman called Wayne Broadhurst was murdered in broad daylight, walking his dog, actually being an upstanding citizen and trying to get involved in an argument that broke out completely randomly, apparently. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but look it up anyway. I'm really disappointed in how this has been reported, right? And I'm going to show you now. So check this out. What you've got here is the Telegraph. Now, Telegraph normally leans to the right, although I think they've lost the way over time. So you can see the headline: man arrested after dog walker dies and 2 injured in West London stabbings. Well, there's no mention that he was an Afghan, not at all. There was no mention that he'd come here illegally and then was granted asylum because he'd been here so long. So he shouldn't have got asylum. He shouldn't have got allowed in, but they did to clear a backlog. And that's the thing. So let me just show you further down the article. Here's what they write about. A 22-year-old man was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. Now, I can't talk too much more about it because there's a case involved and whatnot. I'm talking about the reporting aspect of it, not the crime itself. Crime was heinous, and you can follow that online somewhere else. But if I float back, I've got this from the Telegraph again. If you remember the guy who drove into the crowds at the Liverpool's coming home parade, you'll see here that they were quick to say it was a 53-year-old white man. Do you see the difference in reporting? So they'll tell you if it's a white man, but they will not tell you if it's of a foreign nature. And this is what we call gaslighting. Now, this drives me wild because this poor bloke, Wayne, and I'm looking because my dog's behind me. I go walking my dog all the time. And if I saw someone, having a mass argument like these guys were, I'm probably, until now, would have sort of gone over there and tried to intervene. I've been in the army and I'm pretty fit, so I would take my chances. But after seeing this, I don't know. I don't know whether I would now. In honesty, I probably would, because that's my character. But when you read about this sort of thing, I probably wouldn't, because they're trying to downplay here the detriment of all of these people coming in. Massively unchecked, undocumented, from wherever in the world. They're just coming because we're an easy ride. Now, someone in the comments, if you can make this make sense, please do. Otherwise, I'd love your other feelings about the state of the UK at the moment, what you think of the government's policy on immigration, what you think of the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood's lapsadaisical approach to stopping the boats, what you think about any of the stories I covered briefly tonight. But I just wanted to put these together because if you see those scenes at Tower Hamlets, that is encouraging, emboldening, and giving a green light to anyone else from the third world country that they can do what they want because they have support in numbers. That's where I'm going. We are witnessing right here the formation of an army. And I do think, in line with Elon Musk, that there will be a civil war in the UK. I don't want it. My kids are 20 next year. They will get pulled into this. And unfortunately, if they're in the army, they will be signed up to protect the fucking foreigners. I said, son, don't go there because I'm going to be on the front line with the patriots because I'm a patriot. I've served for this country. I was prepared to pay the ultimate price for this country. It matters to me. And you will be lined up to protect this bag of scumbags. Anyway, that's all I got to say on the matter. My head's spinning. The cogs are going. I'm really, really angry about the whole situation. And I think saying it out loud like this with you guys, thank you very much. Hit the like button if you thought this was okay. And if you're actually watching this far, please do subscribe because you get some more of my ranting another time. So on that note, I'll leave you to it. Thanks for watching. It's Pete from MV UK. Have a good evening.